And we are what some people would call live. We are live. Welcome back to Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans. Today we're drinking. We're drinking whiskey just like every other live stream. Except for a sober live stream. I mean, we've never done a sober live stream, but I can imagine we likely will in the near future or something of that nature. Alrighty, just making sure everything is coming through and whatnot. Oh, that's uncomfortable. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Streaming is good. We are good to go. What the heck is up, everybody? Let's freaking send today's live stream. We got Sugar in the house. Cheers. Nice to freaking see you. How are you doing today? We got Dave Volgsang. I'm sure I'm butchering your name. I do apologize. I know I've seen you before, but thanks for coming in, Dave. Sugar Kitty as well. My freaking favorite. Absolutely love Sugar Kitty. I'm super excited for today's live stream. We are getting into a bottle, which, full disclosure, the two bottles we're drinking tonight, at least two of the four, have been sent to me. Vogel Sang. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm horrible at names. I love the last name though. That's such a cool Vogel Sang. That's a cool last name, dude. So full disclosure, one of the bottles and a sample was sent to me by Barrell. Barrell with an extra L. They sent me these products, but in no way, shape, or form are they, buying a, what should you call it, like a good word or a good review. They just send me the stuff and say, hey, share your thoughts. They sent me a sample of batch 34. I bought the bottle. So that should kind of show you where my opinions are as far as Barrell. I'm a huge fan of them. I try not to accept bottles from companies that I think are bad because I don't like giving out negative reviews because it's not fun. I don't like being a negative Nancy. But that being said, Barrell did send me this bottle and the sample of their rye. So that's what we're going to get into today. But again, they're not, changing my thoughts or opinions of these bottles by giving me them for free. It's just, allows me to talk about their product without financially putting my family in a hole for this month, which is a huge freaking win all the way. I was going to say the little birdie sang your name to me. All right. So I guess the way I'm going to do this, I want to compare batch 35 to batch 34. And this one did win a gold in 2023 San Francisco World Spirits Competition. Take that as you will. I don't put a lot of faith in those. I think they're all kind of bought and paid for ads. They give a lot of give me ones. I feel like everyone leaves away with at least a bronze. Obviously, gold means that it's better than like the average competitor, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's like the world's best whiskey. It just means it's a pretty solid whiskey. But I guess I'll pour these. And again, I'm comparing batch 35 to batch 34. Batch 34 I really liked. Barrell sent me a sample like they did with the rye. I bought the bottle. So, clearly this is a good bottle. I really like it. So I'm comparing a bottle I've never tried to a bottle that I really, really like from them, their previous batch. So let's read comparatively. So batch 35 versus 34. So it looks like the blend is an extra 10,000 barrels. Holy heck. So batch 34 was 9,120 barrels, where batch 35 is 19,193. Age statement, both 9 years. Proof point wise, the Barrell Bourbon batch 35 is going to be 117.5 compared to the batch 34 is 114.62. Color wise, let's see if I can notice a difference. I can't notice a difference. So I don't really think there's a difference. Let me see if I can find out some more information. So they did send me a lot of information. They did update the label. Which one is this? Batch 35. It's more of like an earthy kind of dark label color. I kind of like that. It's cool. Makes it feel a little bit more rugged. Let's see here. Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, distilled in Kentucky, Indiana, and Tennessee. So yeah, it looks like same distillate sources, likely for all of them. Let me see if I can find some more information. I think so. They sent me. I'm sorry, I'm not as prepared as I should have been for this because they sent me the blah 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 blah. Let's see here. Awesome. Okay, cool. They sent me a few different PDFs. Me just download these. Again, I do apologize that I'm not half as prepared as I should be for someone who does this, but that's kind of my style as I am, a bit of a mess, if you will. Oh, here we go. I got another product sheet from them. Was that batch 34 then that they sent me originally? No, that's batch 35. Huh. Whatever. Okay. Let me look at this and I'll give you guys more information. Barrel Batch 33 is my favorite so far. Did like 34 and Vantage. Yeah, 34 was really good. I didn't have 33, but I really liked Vantage because I think Vantage was the first one that they sent me the media sample. And this is the first one that they sent me a whole bottle. So I'm hoping I like this because the only thing better than good whiskey is good whiskey that is also free. So I'm really hoping that I really like this bottle. I anticipate I will, seeing as how I've loved everything that they've done since I started following them. But who the heck knows? Let's see here. Yeah, Vantage was good. Love the backdrop once again. Very well done. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you. Yeah, I need to level the camera out a little bit more as I need to work on the legs a little bit, but that's another time. It's a little, it is what it is. I'm a little OCD when it comes to that stuff. So I can speak 100% on the barrel batch 35 because they sent me the sheet as far as like all the information regarding it. I'll see if I can find some more information on 34. If one of you guys wants to also drum up the information on 34, like the year, the components year, and the derived mash bill, throw that in chat. But at least for 35, blending components, we got an Indiana bourbon whiskey, ages 6, 7, and 8 years old. So 6, 7, and 8 year old. Ooh, excuse me. MGP bourbon. Tennessee bourbon, we got a 7-year-old and a 13-year-old. And then Kentucky bourbon, we have an 8-year-old. Derived mash bill, which I think that means like it's like the percentage of the mash bills because all these bourbons that they're sourcing are going to be different mash bills. So it's like the percentages of the overall kind of distillate that ends up becoming this whole blend is going to be 78% corn, 18% rye, and 4% malted barley, which is kind of a pretty typical kind of bourbon mash bill. So let's see if I can find a little bit more information regarding barrel batch 34. Oh, that's 24, not 34. 34 mash bill. I know Breaking Bourbon usually does a pretty good, solid disclosure of this. Okay, so it looks like 6 years old, blend of 6, 8, 10, and 15-year-old bourbons. Okay, so not too much more information, but yeah, I mean, overall, it's a blend of like 6+ bourbons of different mash bills. I mean, again, age statements and whatnot are all kind of just theoretical. In the end of the day, the thing that really matters is it good or not? Do you enjoy drinking it? What's it like? So, without further ado, let me cleanse my palate, get some water in me, and then we will drink batch 35, share my thoughts about it, opinions, and then we will compare it to batch 34. And I should also say MSRP for these is around 80, I believe, 80, 90. I mean, I probably should confirm. Let's see. I know it's like the typical, okay, MSRP is 90. I'm seeing a lot of these for 80, 85 nowadays, though. So could just be location. I mean, you probably know how much like a standard barrel product costs because they're all around the same price in my area. So I would assume they're the same way in yours. So just assume that this is probably $80 to $90. But let's get into it. Ooh, gonna splash myself a little bit. Hey yo, hanging AZ. Cheers. Nice to see you, man. Oh man, that smells great. You definitely get that like sweet baking spice smell off of this. This is sweet red fruits, heavy baking spices. That cinnamon is intense. That is intense, crazy, spicy cinnamon. Yeah, that is a sweet and spicy cinnamon. Nice oak, slight nuttiness, kind of like a caramel corn, if you will. Man, I like that smell. What are the price tags on the 35 and 33 for conservative shoppers in the bourbon world? Um, for the a conservative. Oh, sorry, words. Um, I don't know about 33. I never bought 33, but I think I got mine around 80, 85 in my area. I mean, MSRP wise, they're supposed to be 90, but they started out 90 when I first got heavy into whiskey around that whole 2020 range. And now they were like, in my opinion, overpriced at 90. And now that the market has kind of gone up, they have seemingly stayed there, if not have gone down to like 80. I mean, I bought a barrel vatted malt, which is their malt blend, for $60 the other week, like a month ago or something like that. So take that as you will. I mean, that was a really good deal, but yeah, 90, I think 90 is MSRP for them. I think mine just has them for like 80, 85. Hang it, you can probably vouch for me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They are not cheap barrelings, bottlings, whatever you call them, but in my experience, they are on par, if not better than a lot of those like 70, 80, $90 kind of offerings that you get. Like, yeah, it's not going to be Stag Junior, but they're blending some really, really good stuff together. Yeah, like I said, originally they were overpriced in my opinion. Now the market has kind of gotten there where it's like a blend of 6 to 13-year-old whiskeys. I mean, the youngest stuff in here is 6 and it's like 117.5 proof. I mean, that's a lot of age, a lot of proof. Yeah, it's anywhere from 6 to 13 years old, which is a huge age gap, but a lot of those kind of like 6-year-old MGP picks from like Nulu are at like 90 to 100. So I think it's kind of a fair, at least statistic wise. We'll know when we put it in our mouth and swat around. Batch 33 is 80 in Illinois. Yeah, yeah, really, it depends on your area. I would say 90 is probably like the high end, and I think 80 is probably the low end. Bevmo seems to be the biggest barrel. I don't go to Bevmo. Bevmo is such a weird place. So I reached out to them to see if we could get our stuff at the stores, and apparently none of the store managers purchases their whiskey or anything like that. Like they have no control over that stuff. Like corporate just sends them the whiskey they're supposed to sell. Like it's a weird business model. I don't understand Bevmo. Their BBs, yeah. Yeah, I think Doc Swenson's is typically a what should you call it? Like a I think Doc Swenson's does like really, really good cheaper stuff. Yeah, I mean Barrel, it's a premium product. It's not gonna be the best value out there. The $100 though our barrel finish of some kind for the price. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fair. It really depends. Oh, by the way, Troy, I mailed out your package, or I hand delivered your package a few days ago. So I think you should be getting it either tomorrow or the next day if you haven't gotten it already. Sorry for the delay. I'm a POS. Picks at my local Bevmo tend to stink, but if you like Dickel, that is a place. Yeah, I mean, again, Bevmo does a weird business model that I just don't understand. Yeah, this batch 34 smells a little lighter. Here, let me. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, actually, batch 34 has even more of that cinnamon aspect that I was getting on the nose. I'd say batch 35 has more of kind of a coconutty smell to it. Coconutty or like a pineapple. Might just be because I've been messing around with some pina colada recipes, like a bourbon pina colada, like a chocolatey bourbon pina colada for a cocktail of the month at the distillery. So I'm thinking tropical, but I get a bit of almost a pineapple on it. Pineapple coconut. Yeah. 34 is darker, more that like kind of super cinnamony smell. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, it is more tropical. It has that like bright pineapple taste to it. It's like stone fruit, pineapples, sweetness, a tinge of nuttiness, a little bit of like almost a clove. I like that. That is fun. Yeah, that clove is nice. I like that baking spice. That sweetness, that pineapple. I like that. I like that. I think it's a different vibe than batch 34. So it might be hard to compare because batch 34 smells more of that dark and dense, that more kind of winter release, summer release type vibe to it. No, geez, I'm trying to break. I'm trying to break some glasses over here on accident. I was going to Bevmo just for $16 OGD branded. Yeah, that's fair. Oh, Peter White, cheers. Nice to see you. How are you doing, Peter? All right, let's get on the palate of batch 34. Oh, yeah. Very different. 34 is far nuttier, far more baking spice. Huh. I'll be honest, I don't know which one I prefer. They're very different. 35 It was more on that tropical kind of bright summer release, and then 34 is it's nuttier. I like that baking spice I get off the nose, but on the palate, it's starting to drink kind of like a beam product almost, like a good beam single barrel pick almost. Which I mean is a good thing. You know, good beam single barrel picks are great. Yeah, nutty, baking spice, cherry, almost a pomegranate. Throwing out random tasting notes. I feel like I've probably drank way too much whiskey already today to be reviewing more whiskey, but what are you going to do when you get paid to drink whiskey? It's not what I actually get paid for, but it's a nice side effect. Our comments are rifling, but thanks to you, your response and your input of its flavor worth. Okay. Yeah, I haven't the nice thing. Oh my god. So I'll be honest, my job transition couldn't be further from the difference. Like I used to work from home, I would constantly be home. Now I'm never home. I'm never watching anything. I'm never like sitting down relaxing, I guess. I'm working a lot more in a way. Um, which is a good and a bad thing. Bad thing because I'm not relaxing as much. Great thing is I'm no longer watching anyone else's videos, which again, I kind of hate that because I'm not supporting as many people. But the positive side is I know a few people over the last like week have reviewed this bottle a lot, and I have no idea what anyone else thinks about it, which is awesome because I get my own opinions. Part of the Barrel 34 is MGP corn, 99% corn, 1% malted barley mash bill. Okay. Man, I've never had that, or as far as I'm aware, I've never had that mash bill. I would love to get that. I like that mix of corn and malted barley. Like that malted barley is a really fun mash bill or like mash process. I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, it's bright, citrusy, a little bit of that like pineapple, nice oak. I like this. Honestly, right now, I'm going batch 35 is something I'm enjoying drinking more. And again, it is summer, so take that as you will. It's literally right outside that window. It is 120 degrees or something incredibly stupid. Whereas this is more of a winter type fall vibe going on. It's dark, it's dense. There's some more like baking spices, that cinnamon, that nuttiness, which I mean, it is a good bourbon. I do prefer this one on the nose because I love that cinnamon. It reminds me of that like Amberana cast stuff. But on the palate, not so much. On the palate, I'm really, really enjoying batch 35. So I'm going batch 35 is my favorite right now. But again, I think it's not a one's better. It's just like one's fitting the situation better than the other one does. Because they're just so different. Yeah, that is just, it has this like dark baking spice and nuttiness that is just a little bit too much right now. Like we are looking for something sweet, easy, soft, bright, exciting, vibrant, where batch 35 is vibrant, batch 34 not so much. It's more dark. Although that being said, I think batch 34 is going to do really, really well in the end of year blind because, well, again, it's dark. End of year blind happens in December. So take that as you will. Sugar Kitty, I've never had mellow corn. My corn whiskey is solely based off of the like 100% blue corn and like those, oh no, those Texas. Sorry, I hope I didn't just make anyone like super nauseous or something. Got to fix my camera a little bit, but we'll do that another time. But yeah, my corn whiskey understanding is basically I got one. So I have borderline a whole shelf that's almost all corn whiskey, but I mean a lot of them are duplicates of like the distillery I works for corn whiskey because again I'm super freaking biased. Um, but I have that, a Balcones, some Iron Roots, which is all kind of Southwest corn whiskey, and then I have a Hawaii corn whiskey, or well, it's mostly corn. It's 90% corn, 10% malted barley, but it's very young. It's only 6 months old, so it's like I'm kind of judging essentially White Dog at that point. Like it's like mellowed White Dog. Okay, yeah, yeah. I'm sure it's in my area. It just hasn't been something I'm like, oh yeah, we gotta go get some mellow corn because we gotta mellow our corn. No, it's not been something I'm like going to. So overall verdicts. We're 26 minutes into this, and I'm willing to post a verdict on Barrel Batch 35. I think it's on par with all the other batches. Different vibe, just kind of like the Bookers. Bookers, you expect a kind of vibe to. I don't, and again, I have no idea if this is what they meant to do or whatever. Like they did not tell me. Actually, maybe they did, and I just didn't read it. Let's. Um, Oh, let's see what their notes are. I'm curious. Okay, we're just gonna read all of this. Barrel Bash 35 is a blend of 6, 7, 8, and 13-year-old bourbons, a multi-mash bill blend of. Yeah, we can skip that. I already told you all that. A portion of these barrels has more. Oh, here we go. Look at this. A portion of these barrels have more tropical fruit notes, and other portions wait, where am I? Showed more dried and candied fruits. I mean, I got a little bit of peach, but it was more like a peach and pineapple, like a little bit of a stone fruit, but way more pineapple and bright notes on that. But we'll agree to disagree. That's why I don't love tasting notes. The resulting bourbon is peppery and intriguing on the nose and sweet. Oh, maybe, yeah, because on the nose, I was getting a lot more cinnamon initially, and then I went to batch 34, and I was like, man, that's a cinnamon bomb comparatively. Banana bread on the nose, got no banana, but whatever. Again, agree to disagree. It's complemented by myriad of herbaceous aromas from the rye grain. And earthiness intensifies on the palate. Bold spice settles down to rich, sweet notes and chocolate milkshake. Okay, definitely didn't get that. Cinnamon, yeah, got some nice cinnamon bun. Water completely transforms the whiskey into a punch bowl. Yeah, I would agree. Like, the palate is so much more of kind of a, like, it's like, yeah, again, an earthy baking spice tropical punch. Best way I can put that. Best I could do. Best I could do. Um, yeah, man, they got some intense tasting notes. Palate, Mexican hot chocolate, cinnamon, and dried chili peppers make a spicy first impression. I mean, oh man, the power of suggestion, the power of suggestion. Now I'm reading their tasting notes, Mexican hot chocolate, cinnamon, and dried chili peppers. I didn't think of it too much, but it does kind of on the tip of your tongue on that initial, like right when you swallow it, it comes out spicy and chocolatey. Again, power of suggestion. Take that as you will. Those notes didn't come from me. I stole those. That's called plagiarism. But yeah, it has that little burst of like earthy, chocolatey spice on the front end. Man, I'm starting to even like it even more. I'm starting to like it even more. You should try it. Yes, I will. I 100% will. By the way, 20 people in chat. Thanks for hanging out. How are you guys doing? What are y'all drinking tonight? Also, like, comment, subscribe. Check out all the other YouTube channels that have come in as well. Support them because they support me, and I love that about them. And I just love that they're doing this as well. Do you like the blue corn whiskey better? How does it compare to the regular corn whiskey? I mean, I haven't any company that has released a blue corn whiskey. I've never had just a corn whiskey. What I will say is blue corn, so yellow corn is going to be sweeter. Blue corn's more earthy, red corn's spicier. So I like that blue corn because when all you have is if your mash bill is only yellow corn, I feel like I'm worried at least it's going to be just too sweet, too much. Or with the blue corn, it really adds that earthiness that tampers down on the insane sweetness and it brings in some stone fruits. Typically, we can't just nonchalantly say those. I mean, hang in, if you come again, side chat me, text me about this because we got like 4 more cases of blue corn, and that would be a bottle from the distillery that I would say, dude, get this. That and our cherry wood smoked rye, which is some of my 2 favorite releases, and we both have those right now, but we won't much longer because, well, they're freaking great. Great stuff doesn't last long. Cinnamon probably from the 50 MGP. Stone fruit probably from the bar and juice. Yeah, that tracks. Frey Ranch. Joel, what Frey Ranch? You're drinking the rye, bourbon, a pick? That's what I need. I need a Frey Ranch pick. Anyone in the Arizona area know of a Frey Ranch pick that is like good? Good. I need a good one because I really like their rye. Because I have their bonded rye and it's ridiculously good. Don't forget to, yep. It's 100% what it tastes like. Gonna have a small bit of Lost Monarch. Oh, Lost Monarch is good. Lost Monarch has been hidden for me for like the last like 2 weeks. Or yeah, since I remodeled, and by remodeled, I mean I just reorganized my bottles. But since I reorganized my bottles, I couldn't find it, and it's been kind of hidden. And I put it all the way down on the bottom shelf on accident because that's kind of the area of whiskey it falls into. So I'm just gonna have to be a little bit more aware of it. I have a batch 31. We'll revisit as it is labeled a 6-year-old as well with older. Yeah, I'm sure that's what they're doing at Farm Single Reserve. Farm. Oh, there we go. Sweet. Farm strength, cash strength, uncut. That sounds awesome. So that's from them. It's not a pick. That's like a single barrel or like a limited edition. Did you get that from them? Are you in Nevada? Because I know they're in Nevada. Man, I am 35's a buy for me, by the way. Full disclosure. I like it. Limited item. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that sounds freaking awesome. Picked up a New Riff Blue Clarage and Yellow Leaming Heirloom Corn bourbons today. Looking forward to trying them. Those sound awesome. Yeah, I'm about to get my first bottle of like it's basically like a corn or no, not corn, it's like a rice whiskey. Or it's primarily rice and it tastes like Rice Krispies. I'm freaking excited for it. It's from our distillery, obviously. That's full disclosure. You're gonna hear me talk about us a lot, and I do apologize. I know we're super small and niche, but basically, YouTube and that has become my life. So you're gonna hear me talk about it a lot. We tried Blackened. Yeah, it's okay. It's not super good, but it's not like the worst stuff ever. Some people are very dramatic and they're like, drain pour it. I'm very not anti drain pour. I've drain poured maybe 5 bottles in my life. Like some just become mixers. I think Blackened is like it's decent. It's borderlining on mixer, but like it's not like undrinkable per se. So, take that as you will. Love it. And the special edition 72 seasons is even better. Yeah, I haven't had that. And you see, you like it. So the different strokes for different folks. Like everyone's gonna have a bottle that they really like, and some people are not gonna like it. We're all not gonna agree. That's cool. From them. Okay, awesome. Yeah, that sounds great. Picked up the holiday soft red wheat. How is that? Stranahan's Diamond Peak finish and extra anejo. Oh, does that have? Oh, you haven't cracked them. Well, Troy, let me know how that is because I'm excited. I That's what I want to do, a smoked tequila, and I want to do a what's it called? I want to do a whiskey, maybe like an American single malt finished in an ajo, just like the Stranahan's. Those are like two tequila related things that I'm like, oh, let's see what it does. Haven't cracked them yet, but yeah, those sound awesome. Cheers, all. Just finished dinner, pork loin off the smoker. That sounds awesome. Having my dessert of Old Forester 1920. About to try a Clyde's May single barrel. Awesome. Is that an MGP single barrel? Because I know Clyde's May, they do some sourcing, but they also make their own stuff, I believe. It's been a while since I've seen one of their bottles. Sorry about, dude, no worries. Yeah, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, as in it is 5 o'clock, 5:36 here. So send it, brother. I think the 72 is actually a burr rye. Well, I do like burr ryes. Yeah, Stranahan's is great. I mean, they deserve to blow up. Okay, so let me get. I also have some information on the rye that they sent me. If I can find it, because I'm an idiot and I didn't come prepared. Okay, let's see. What did you send me? All right, here we go. Rye. Awesome. So, full disclosure, this is the first time I've ever had any of their ryes before. So, again, take that as you will. All right. So, the rye, which again, they sent me this, but in no way, shape, or form is this going to change my opinions as I just kind of make my opinions. Yeah, that's authentic. I couldn't just let myself go with the flow. Oh man, what the heck? Why is this tape like this? What the shit? Tape's not supposed to be this hard to take off, and I'm clearly not too drunk, so I don't know what's going on. Okay, this one, yeah, this one I think I'm just gonna drink alone. I brought out a bottle of Stellum, but I don't feel like that's a super fair comparison because I think it's gonna stomp the Stellum. MSRP wise, oh man, I don't have an MSRP for this. Let's see if we can find it. Barrel batch. Let's look at how much the last one cost. 3 rye. Barrel batch 003 rye. Price 90. Yeah, so the typical, barrel release. Yeah, and I did have to look at the label to remember what I was actually drinking or talking about because it's just the kind of day I've had. I'll steer here to the 6 o'clock rule, going to try another pour of the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Select in a few. Yeah, I mean, those 94, I don't know if I texted you back, but those 94 ones are still really good. I mean, they're not talked about as much as a barrel proofs, but I feel like that is another underrated bottle. Like I have their 94 proof rye, and I really, really enjoy that. And I've had plenty of the Tennessee whiskeys. I just don't currently have just a, non-cask strength version of it. But yes, so this is, as far as rye goes, this is aged at least, so batch 4, 5.5 years old. So 5.5 years old, 115.7 proof. So 115, 5.5 years old. So Indiana rye is going to be 5, 6, and 10. Tennessee rye is going to be 5 years old. Kentucky rye is 6 years old. And Canadian rye is 14. I almost said 16. 14 years old. Derived mash bill is going to be 89% rye. So pretty high percentage for rye there. Corn is going to be 7%, and malted barley is going to be 4. But those are going to be very different, like mash bills. Some of these have to be a like barely legal rye, because I'm sure the Canadian rye is 100% rye. So I think to offset that, making that the 89%, there are probably some like 85, 75, or maybe even a barely legal in there. Too bad they don't tell us exactly what the percentages are, because that would be awesome if they give us the smash bills percentage of this and then the derived. But, that seems like a lot of math regardless. Yeah, Ben Holiday, that's a bottle from this year that I really, really want to try. Less banana than the bonded, at least this. Yeah, and that's the fun thing about the Jack Daniel's single barrels is each one's a little different. So good and bad, I guess, because if it's really, really good, you're not going to be able to get another one. And if it's really, really bad, the next one you have, you might actually really enjoy. Although I haven't had any that are bad. I've just had some that are significantly better than others. I have a holiday software week, but haven't opened it yet. Well, when you do, let me know what you think about it. But yeah, on the nose, $90 cash strength rye coming from Barrell. Ooh, that is herbaceous. That is fantastic smelling, man. What is the mash bill on this again? Okay, yeah, so it's kind of on the high rye, but yeah, again that higher percentage of that is gonna kind of change things a little bit. The nose is super. It's this lemon and this like mintiness and dilliness. Yeah, it's crinkle cut dill chips with a squirt of lemon juice and a smidge of toothpaste, because that sounds like a great freaking time. Yeah, because it has that little smidge of mintiness, and then can y'all hear me? Chat if you can. Yeah, what the heck? Let's see. This might drop me off. This might have been a mistake. Oh, here we go. There we go. Can you see me now? What the heck happened there? Huh, am I overtaxing my computer? Well, whatever. Sorry. Yeah, something froze on my end. I know it didn't freeze on your guys' end, but like from my end, it looked like I was frozen. So, I do apologize. I don't know how much I got through that, but it smells like crinkle cut dill chips, like dill pickle chips. Crinkle cut dill pickle chips. That's exactly what it is. Like the Ruffles dill pickle crinkle cut chips on the nose with a smidge of like this sweet lemon grass type thing. It's not lemon juice per se, because it's not that concentrated and intense, but there's like this lemony thing. Maybe we just sprayed some like lemon pledge in the air, and that's what we're smelling as we're eating those dill pickle chips. Either which way, those crinkle cut dill pickle chips are awesome. Awesome. But yeah, heavy on the dill, a little bit of spearmint, and some nice lemon. You good? Yeah. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you guys. herbaceous merch. Yeah, I need a merch store. Someone make me a merch store because I don't have time. I'm actually working on prototyping some hats. So the same guy who I guess yeah, subsequently did this an average drinker Glencairn. Same guy who does my Glencairn, same guy who does the Bourbon Junkies Glencairns and a bunch of other things. I don't know if he would be cool with me shouting him out like this, so we're just not going to say his name. Uh, but he lives here in Arizona, and he's actually a member of the distillery club, so I know him decently well. And he's actually prototyping some more hats for me right now. I mean, I'm in no rush, but with those, I might just finally create a merch store once I get a good hat contact and a good shirt contact. Who wants some herbaceous merch? Oh, hey Bruno, love you, buddy. Yeah, who wants some, tipsy whiskey shenanigans merch? I've never tried a barrel bourbon. I see them and they look interesting, but cost a lot. Yeah, they're a little bit on the pricier side. Honestly, this might sound horrible, but I would, so maybe not horrible, but so if there's one you want to buy, which some people may disagree, Barrel Seagrass or the Barrel, whatever their newest release is going to be. So their newest release is technically this rye and the batch 35, but the one after this is going to be an Amberana cast finish. And man, if it's half as good as that Doc Swenson's one, I'm going to buy that crap out of it. So I expect that to be really, really good. So I would go for Barrel Seagrass or that. I mean, these ones are so far seemingly very good. I mean, the bourbons I really like. This rye, I'm anticipating I'm not going to dislike it. Um, again, they are pricier. I think they're priced at what they're worth. Again, value once you go over like 75 is kind of, you're not getting the best value in the world of whiskey. That being said, like, I mean, you know, it's still better than buying like $150, $200 product. But if I would go with only one of their bottles, I would probably go Seagrass because I think it's the most interesting, most different type product. Whereas this is just it's a cash strength rye whiskey. That's just a cash strength bourbon. I'm sure you've had plenty of cash strength bourbons. This one might be a little bit better than some others, might not be as good as some others. So like take it as you will. If you only want one, I would go for their kind of more limited finish stuff because I think those are a little bit more fun and interesting and different, if you will. But again, they're a distillery. They got to make their money. So you got to release all sorts of different products in order to, because that's how you get people to buy a bunch of different offerings. Salt and pepper crinkle cut chips are the shiz. Yeah, so this is like a dill pickled crinkle cut chip. I'm forgetting what brand they are. I don't think it's Lay's. I don't know. There's a crinkle cut chipped. Oh wait, no, they're the Kettle brand. So Kettle brand dill pickle crinkle cut chips. My favorite. Have a Seagrass and I can't drink it. Yeah, again, some bottles, some people are going to agree with, some they're not. It is what it is. I personally love Seagrass. It's one of my favorite pours. Actually, that's when I celebrated getting engaged with. I brought that bottle specifically for that. So in case of that shows you how much I enjoyed that, really enjoy that bottle. I think the finishing is really driving prices up. Yeah. But these aren't finished at all. These are just all their stuff they release is at like $90. But again, $90 is starting to become like a typical thing in the world of whiskey, which is terrifying. But what are you going to do? Sometimes you got to pay a little bit more to get good products. Alberta seems to be 3 to 4 batches behind, but the prices are terrible. Even when on, yeah. This definitely has at least what I would assume is some Alberta. It's Canadian, and you can smell it on here. It's that heavy, like herbal kind of, again, that dill pickle. The dill pickle I'm getting off of this crinkle cut chip. Sweetness, a little bit of lemongrass. It's a nice spearmint. But yeah, it is really so much that crinkle cut dill pickle chips on the nose. Oh, yeah, that is sweet, dilly, minty, has that nice citrus in there. I mean, that's good. A little bit more on the lighter side of rye. For this one, since this is a pricey rye, where it's like the bourbon, I think I'm more comfortable saying I'm a buy on the bourbon than I am this. Like I would buy this, but this is more. It has that Canadian theme to it, if you will. It's like that bright citrus, very herbal rye whiskey. Like let me think. Let me look at my ryes. I don't have a lot of expensive ryes. I mean, yeah, I'd put this on par with like a cash strength Sagamore Spirit, maybe like a Willet 4 year old reserve. But I don't know how much those things cost because I don't think those are 90. How much does a Sagamore Spirit pick cost? Sagamore Spirit store. I'm also a little biased. Okay, so 75 bucks. So I mean, 15 difference. Let's see. Will it 4 year? Oh no, not Will it Potstill. God, get that off of my freaking. Will it 4 year old rye? So I really like Will it 4 year old rye. Okay, around 70, 75 as well. So yeah, I mean, this is. I would say I'm a buy at like 80, 85, 90. I feel like we're spending a smidge too much for this. I think 90 is a bit expensive for this. I mean, in my area, I can get these for 80. So I'm likely going to buy this bottle. That being said, I'm going to buy at like 80, 85, and 90. And I know we're literally talking $5 here, but I'm more of a, if you like that bright, kind of citrusy, the more herbal side of rye whiskey, I think you should buy it. If you're unsure, I think I'm gonna go a we'll blend the buy bar pass ratio here on this one a little bit. I'm a buy leaning a bar if you're 100% unsure because I'm honestly likely still gonna buy this even at 90. But I also do have a biases and I like Barrell as a company and stuff, so I'm willing to spend an extra $5 to do that. But I think this would be fairly priced at like 80, $85. 90, I think you're asking just a bit too much. Like if this was 80, I would be like, go out and buy this time freaking now. 90, but again, I'm likely going to find it for me in my area anyway, so does not really matter. Oh man, I have a lot of comments to get through. Um, let's see. Last year's Dovetail is about 75 if you for it worth it. Okay. Not sure how that worded out, but yeah, I like Dovetail. Yeah, Dovetail I think is another exciting. Again, I got mine for 80 here in Arizona. So I think their MSRP is just a little out of whack, but it's a little out of whack in like the opposite direction as Buffalo Trace is. So I think their stuff kind of goes more so for like 80, 85, which is very fair for what I would pay for this. But again, 90 just seems like, because I'm used to paying a smidge over MSRP anyways. Because that's kind of like if MSRP is like 60 bucks, people are usually charging like 63 to 65 for it because F us. You know, money's not a thing. It's all just fake digits in your bank account, and then somehow it always goes down every month. A special occasion wasn't, but nothing wrong with value. Yeah, no. And again, none of these are, dude, if you're looking at a Barrel bottle and you're like, that is value. I mean, there's a reason Barrel released this line. The Stella line is because this is their value bottling. And this is like $55, $60 or something like that. Like, this is definitely value. I mean, we can compare these two. Whatever. I mean, I wasn't gonna do it, but now I'm doing it. So whatever. So Barrel Rise from Black Velvet or Valley Field, never Alberta Premium. Black Velvet. Isn't that like the really crappy like handle you can get? If so, that kind of like that, yeah. It gives me the heebie McGeebies. Love dill. Yeah, dill's fantastic. Open a New Riff 6 malt rye, and man, it was good. Yeah, those New Riff malts are really good, just like the Frey Ranch stuff. Like New Riff is doing really good jobs with rye. Dill kicks the anise and the nads and wrastles. You a big fan of wrestling? I do have a single barrel 13-year-old from Barrel. It's pretty good. Oh, a 13-year-old single barrel? I bet that's phenomenal. Sagamore picks here 70. Oh, here they're around 75, 80. Man, I would buy a lot of Sagamore Spirit picks for 70. Just somebody, and that by me, my favorite rye. I've yet to have any Peerless stuff. I really need to try to get some of their stuff. I forgot way too far into Whistle Pig, 2 pours of Orion, have a headache, shame, like to taste, can't do it anymore. What Whistle Pig were you drinking? I really like that 6-year-old one, but I don't get headaches from it. Yeah, Sagamore Stir picks in. Okay, yeah, 75. Yeah, but yeah, they're good value. They're kind of the value I expect in a whiskey. Like they're good for 75, and I think this would be good for around 75, 80. 85 is me kind of pushing the envelope, and then 90, I think I am kind of out of what I would consider the value. But me personally, I'm a buy because again, I like the brand. You know, I enjoy their stuff. But you know, I also don't buy every single one of their batches. I've only bought one of their just normal batches. I buy all of their weird, funky ones just because they're super exciting. Sagamore Double Oak, just yeah, it's so good. I mean, you could probably, excuse me, you could probably go back and buy it. I mean, they're not super hard to find. It's an hour away. Oh, yeah, that's rough. Driftless picks. We don't get driftless here in Arizona, though, hanging. And again, I don't like buying things online too much. Just ordered Prideful Goat and a Milestone 100 Rye, which is Dutch rye, malt, and funky. That sounds exciting. Black Velvet is a low-end bottle, but the Palliser Distillery is for real. Okay, awesome. Yeah, because Black Velvet makes me think of like, you know, spousal abuse or something like that. You know, just not good things. What we call that DV, domestic violence. Jesus, that's horrible. Black Velvet Bottom Shelf Craps is mainly corn. Found North gets a lot of. Okay, awesome. Yeah, and I know Found North is good. So, okay, yeah, it's still good sourcing. Make some upper crust stuff at the Old Crow Distillery, believe it or not. Okay. You see, let me get caught up. Okay. It's been a while since I've had this. Color-wise, very similar colors. No idea on the mash bill of this. What I can say, oh, hey, there's no Canadian rye in this. So this is distilled in Kentucky, Indiana, Tennessee, and Canada. This is distilled in Indiana, Kentucky, and Tennessee. So Stellum, no Canadian rye, which we'll see how it goes. Okay, let's go on the nose. Ooh, it's more in that baking spice category. It's more of an actual spiciness, less herbal. I'm getting a lot of cinnamon, which is weird. I usually don't get heavy cinnamon on ryes. It's usually more of a minty or a dill aspect, or like less like of a clove. Yeah, it's heavy on that baking spice, almost similar to a like bourbon rather than a what am I trying to say? A rye. It's sweet, baking spices. Still has that like dilly side, but not too bad. Man, this batch 4 is so much brighter. But like it's not brighter in the sense of it's shiny and like unrefined, if you will. Like it's brighter in the sense of it is cranked up a little bit more and a little bit more intensified, but not like because this is kind of muted and mellow comparatively. The flavor is obviously very different. This is like dilly, minty, herbal, citrus, and this is more of like an earthy baking spice, sweetness. It's more kind of it's earthy. It's more kind of I don't want to say bland, but it's less explosive on the nose. Wearing a wife beater, drinking some black velvet on your front porch sofa. Oh, that's bad. Yeah, if you have an indoor couch on the outside of your house, you might have a problem. You might be a redneck. Peter White, that is 100% all I do. I paint in broad strokes on this channel. Oh, that is good. I really like Stellum. This is really good for a $50, $60 bottle. Sweet. More of that very heavy baking spice. That's a weird thing going on about like towards the finish though. Not rubbery, but somewhere in that general rye. I think you're pinning Canadian with broad strokes, lot 40 rye is nothing like Peter White. I have had like 3 Canadian rye whiskeys I really enjoy. A lot of the rye whiskeys that have Canadian juice in them, I have no idea where they're from. So I'll be honest, like where here in Arizona, or not Arizona, but in the United States, I can tell the difference between, like a relatively, MGP, Kentucky, Tennessee, Texas whiskeys. Like I can't tell the difference from Canadian whiskeys. Yeah. So I would love Rio. Stop that. Sorry. I would love to be able to kind of tell the difference and get a little bit more intense into that. But again, our access to Canada, Canadian whiskey is kind of crap. But this is 14-year-old Canadian whiskey. I mean, the one Canadian whiskey that is like, it's an Obtanian pick from the Bourbon Junkies. I think that's like a ultra aged Canadian whiskey, and I freaking love that pick. They're so different. And that 6-year-old one from Whistle Pig, I really enjoy. The, Uncle Nearest, on the other hand, is heinous. Just pooped. Just pop. Sorry. Anytime I see poo, I think poop. Just popped over from Hello Again Live. Cheers. Nice to see you, man. Thanks for coming in. And here I thought the sofa was sitting out by the mailbox so you can watch the neighbors cross the street. Well, I mean, that's when you got 2 sofas. One's just a little bit more busted down than the other one. That's the one you got outside, not even over the overhang. Found North has me interested. You just pulled the yeah. I've yet to have any of their stuff, but again, I'm in the same boat. I'm interested for sure. Well, Canadian corn whiskey does not taste like Canadian rye. Yeah, and when I say Canadian whiskey, I pretty much more so mean Canadian rye because that's the stuff I'm used to getting from Canada. Why am I butchering Canada? Canada. Jeez Louise. Let's see. Was just in Evergreen in downtown Louisville and tried a flight of four Barrell Bourbons. Didn't love any of them. Saved me hundreds of dollars. Huh? Do you know what batches were, or were they picks? Yeah, I know. Again, not the best value, but seemingly those bourbons, I really enjoyed. This rye, I'm on the fence of. I'm torn. I like it, but it's not the best rye I've ever had, especially for $90. The bourbon's on the other hand, I really like, but this kind of torn. I'm a little in between. So in the back of your truck is just showing off. Oh, so hanging, you're saying we gotta have three sofas? Three? Three sofas? Jeez Louise, I can barely fit one sofa inside of my house with the size of my place. I can't imagine having three sofas. Oh, I mean, I like it. Yeah, again, I'm borderline on the fence personally. I think I'm gonna go safe wise on this one. I think it is a good ride. What I'm questioning is the value. The value of this rye is what I'm very unsure about. So rather than safe than sorry, I'm gonna go bar. So I think Barrel Batch 35 bourbon is a buy. I think it's a buy. I think it's good. I think it's really enjoyable. Paints especially for right now, I think it paints a really good picture. It'll be another story when we get more into the fall and winter times because things are going to get darker. I'm going to want something a little bit more darker, denser, a little bit more, not necessarily high proof because that is like 119 proof or something like that, but something with a little bit more darker flavors with that intensity. Whereas that is definitely like a summer, spring type bourbon. And Batch 34, which I don't even know if I ever did like a legitimate review for. Batch 34 is like it's dark, it's nutty. That's going to be something that I think is going to do really, really well. Both of those I think are going to do really, really well in the end of year blind. It's rye. I'm a bar on. I like it. I think I'm still going to buy it myself, but I don't know if I can, in good conscience, tell you all to buy it because again, I'm a little in between. I would love to pay this for 80. If I find it for 80, I'm buying it. 90, I'm barring it. Or well, 90, I'm probably still buying it. But 80, I'm a buy. 90, I'm a bar. 90, I'm probably personally still going to buy it, but my money's not your money, if you know what I mean. Jeez, I'm a mess right now. What is the letter on the Barrel 14 rye? What do you mean letter? Like the batch letter or number? It's batch 04. What do you mean by that? Sofa in the back. Yeah, that's 100% rich people stuff. Honestly, I like a rye that tastes more like a bourbon. Yeah, yeah. I think the Stellum is a little bit more of that like bourbon drinkers rye, where this barrel batch four is more of a kind of it's a rye drinkers rye. Like this has that herbal, that spiciness, that explosion. I love that dill pickle chips on the nose. Crinkle cut dill pickle chips. I don't think the crinkle cut has anything to do with the flavor. That being said, the only dill pickle chips from the Kettle brand are crinkle cut. So it's crinkle cut dill pickle chips. Pick, Vantage, Seagrass, and Dovetail. And you didn't like any of those? Man, I'm a buy on Vantage, Seagrass, and Dovetail. I liked all of those. GTS. Oh, Old Dragon Bones is 16-year-old Canada, and Batch 2 is 17. When are you releasing those. No worries, Shane. How are you doing, by the way? It's been a while. It's been a while. Yeah, you have to come down to Arizona and visit the distillery. I don't know if we could do a pick or anything like that. I don't know if it would be a great business trip, but I would love to show you around now that I'm officially working there 100%. And in case if you didn't know, I mean, text me. I'll tell you all about it. Or call me. You have my number. I like high rye bourbon that throws me. Yeah, yeah, where it's like hanging. I would say this batch four is more for you than the Stellum. They're just different. I'm learning that's kind of a thing with a lot of whiskeys is rather than good or bad, I'm just saying like one is more in this general vibe than the other. Some of the values a little wonky, but there's been only probably 10 whiskeys I've had in my entire life, maybe 15 that I'm like, this is horrible. Dump this down the drain. Like I drain poured. I'm not gonna name who it was because it was another Arizona distillery's whiskey, and I just don't feel in good conscience talking crap about them. Uh, I mean, I have talked crap about their stuff before. Something to do about, oh, man, I'm trying to think of the distillery name. It's not Santan. It is, oh man, I'm drawing a blank. Whatever. I drain pour some of their stuff the other day. But yeah, I love that you are cheap in your butt. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I think this is. I'm a buy at 80. Over 80, I start getting. Depends how many pours I've had. Depends on how many bottles I've already bought that month. So on and so forth. If I'm buying it for 90, so I guess yeah, I'm a bar leaning a pass, or I'm a bar leaning a buy, whatever you want to call that. I don't even know my grading scheme. That's why I stopped grading things. I don't really love doing reviews and grading things as much. I just like talking about whiskey. Santan. It's another local distillery here. I mean, I am enjoying drinking it. It's not like it's a bad whiskey. It's just like $90 is a lot of money nowadays, and there are a lot of different whiskeys, distilleries, so on and so forth. I'd rather support. I mean, I honestly would rather buy a backup of Bash 35 than buy this rye. And I already have a bottle of 35 from them. So obviously, I really like 35. This one, I think it's not as good as the rest. Like they can do better. I am super excited for their Amberana cast finish special release this year. I think that is going to do extremely well. After finding that Bossa Nova from Doc Swinton's and really loving that, I expect Barrell's going to knock it out of the park because they really spend a lot of time and effort blending their stuff really, really well. And they're, like I've said in the past, they are one of the few distilleries that does that whole Tennessee Dickel blends really, really well. At least in my opinion. Again, this is an opinion piece, whatever the heck you want to call it. So I'm excited to see what they do with that Amberana cask finish because Amberana is getting hot, and I'm excited about it. Somewhere. I mean, they're sourcing their rye now. I didn't know that until recently. So if you go, they have a few different offerings. Like the one I have back here, which is like one of my favorite bottles, or probably my favorite bottle from them. It's like the Butcher Jones Rye or whatever. I really like that. And then they've now stopped producing it. Now it's just MGP Rye. They're sourcing that stuff. I don't know about their bourbon, but I know they're still doing their malt. I think they're still doing their bourbon, but they're now just sourcing their rye, which is a little disappointing. A smidge disappointing. Wilderness Trail. I've yet to have some of their rye. I really enjoy their bourbons, though. A full bottle minus 2 pours, I just can't do it. Well, Jay Martinez. You know a guy who can take that off of your hands. I am that guy. I catch crap for wanting to save $5 to $10 on a bottle, but yeah, dude, no, I get it. So break it down like this. I have a little bit over 200 bottles in my collection behind me. I'm probably going to get more because I buy more than I consume. That's just what I do. By the way, cheers, Bad Axe. Sorry, I didn't see that you came in there. Bye. By the way, did you finalize when you're coming down here? Because I'm excited to see you. But yeah, no, I get it. So yeah, it's like you do 200 bottles. You spend over $5 more than you would want. That is literally $1,000. Which, when you put it like that, $1,000 is a lot of goddamn money. So I'm there with you, man. I will penny pinch like no other. Hate to say it, but Redemption Rye is super tasty. Yeah, I know you are such a Redemption fanboy. Although there is someone recently I was talking to. I've talked to too many people nowadays, but someone I was talking to was brought up Redemption Rye, and they were like, "It is one of my favorite like budget ryes. They're like $25 rye or something like that." So I might need to give it a swirl. Okay. Email me. My email should be in the description below. What Iron Root Harbinger did you get? Tell me you didn't get the XC, like the 90 proof one. Tell me you got like Harbinger 115. Because the 115 is insane. Haven't been able to try work third shifts. Are you law enforcement? Got Bacunas 90 bourbon. What do you think about that's a pot still, the red label one? What's your thoughts on that? Because I'm not the biggest fan. I do get this kettle corn note, which I do enjoy, but I'm not the biggest fan overall with that. Love still Austin cash strength. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, and the Iron Root, I'll be honest, Iron Root 115, love. Iron Root Hubris, love. All of their higher proof, like limited edition offerings, I love. The Harbinger XC, like the 90 proof Harbinger, I'm like, this is straight up horrible. So take it as you will. And I'm a huge Iron Root fanboy. I know, not super well, but I know relatively in some circles the people who are behind the brand and their brand manager and whatnot. So like I know them enough to like have conversations with them. So I really enjoyed those people who are behind it. I'm just not gonna lie to you and say that I think their XC is really good, but everything else is knock out of the park. Change their bottle shapes, all different look on another. Troy, I mean, I don't know. They have changed their bottle shape over like the last like few years. Troy, this is their new bottle shape now. Yeah, this is how all their stuff looks now. I know it used to be some sort of like almost like Elijah Craigie looking type bottle, but now they're doing like this simple, sleek kind of like wine bottle look. Bobby, I miss you. It's been too long. Lame Sugar Kitty sent me a message. I love pipe tobacco and leather. Yeah, it's more kind of Elijah Craigie. That was their old school style. I don't know when they changed it because I didn't start drinking their stuff until Great. The dogs or cats broke something. I didn't start drinking their stuff until like over the last 2 to 3 years, but 115. Okay. Yeah. Well, so that'll be my final question of the day. I'm gonna wrap this up within the next like 10 minutes or so. 115. Iron Root Harbinger 115. What's your thoughts? What do you think about it? I want your feedback. Them and Still Austin. Obviously, two very different kind of styles because I think Iron Root uses a hot still, and I think Still Austin uses a mix. I think it's a column still or something like that. It's like an artisan column still, or it's like mixing a pot still and a column still together. I know they kind of have a more like Kentucky traditional still. So I think it's a column still. Again, not super familiar with it. Um, but I know that's kind of where you're getting a little bit of the different flavors because as you use a pot still, you're gonna retain those heavy oils more rather than with like the column still. So those heavy oils bring a lot of flavor, but they also bring a lot of other things. So things can sometimes be a little bit too heavy because of that, because they bring all the particulates, the flavor, but also the negative particulates and also some of the good particulates. And there's a trade-off. But with that also comes a bit more of a viscosity, if you will. You bought 7 bottles of the 115? That seems like a lot to buy without trying any of them. Heavy oils with the pot still depends on. Oh, I had no idea. Well, Sugar Kitty again. I'm very new in the actual art. I'm not new in the whole talking shit about it, but I'm new in the actual. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know the dangle meant anything. Everyone I've seen is at like a 90-degree like angle. Yeah, like it's like a. I don't want to say like a 90-degree corner because it's not like anything sharp. It's more of a, it's a bended tube metal. The angle of the dangle of the shemangle. Simone Barkeep. Cheers. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Let's see here. All right. Well, I think I'm going to start closing things up then, just because I don't really have anything more to add today. Unless if anyone else has any sort of questions, concerns, comments, anything, bring them up within the next like 2 3 minutes, or else I'm going to close this out. Um, Barrell. Barrell is a complicated brand to just like willy nilly say, oh, awesome. The extra anejo is amazing. Sweet. I'm going to try to get me a bottle of those. But Barrell, to say like they're like, an instant buy, I think you're wrong. I think every batch is going to be a little bit different. I think they do a really good job blending, a bunch of different bourbons together in the Barrell Bourbon batches and the rye. I think they do a good job of blending. They do a really good job of blending. That being said, they do ask a premium for their product, and some of their products are a little bit better than others. So I would say kind of as a general basis, if you can try, I would say Barrell is more so a try before you buy type brand. Unless if you're like me and you review products, then I'm basically buy because it works with me. So the Barrell bourbons, I'm a buy on every batch moving forward. The rye, I'm leaning buy, but I think I'm a bar. I'm a bar leaning a buy because, well, I just think it's a lot of money to be asking for a rye that is that I don't want to say young tasting, but it's a little bit on the brighter side. where it's like the bourbon, those taste full, it tastes full bodied, where it's like this still tastes really well done. It's just very bright and very herbal, which is I wanted a little bit more oak, a little bit more intensity. If I'm gonna pay $90, I want an intense, dark, kind of oakier rye whiskey where it's like that one was a little bit too bright and herbal for me. Yeah, I need a cat nap too. I gotta ask me next live. Never tried it, but I bought because you compared it. Yeah, I mean they're very different. So still Austin, it's more like Iron Root, Texas. Still Austin is kind of somewhere in between. Like if you blended MGP or Kentucky bourbon with a Texas bourbon. So again, very different, but I'll be excited to see what you think about it. Uh, Again, I think you'll, as long as you bought one, or if you don't like them, I'm here. But I think you'll like them. The same ones. Okay. Okay. Iron Root, Bacona's Pot Still, Green River, Black Label, ET Bib, Blue. Okay, awesome. Yeah. Oh, ECBP, B23. That's another one I enjoyed. But yeah, Low and Dirty, Barrel Rye 04. I'm a bar leaning a buy. Barrel Bourbon Batch 35. I am a buy. I really like their stuff. Please do me a favor if you haven't done so already. Like, comment, subscribe to this video. I am signing off. Let's see who is currently live that I am actively following or is going to show up on my thing. How are we not showing anyone else's live? Am I not following someone who's live right now? Hey, anyone out there? Is anyone live right now outside of me? I highly doubt I'm the only one live because there's only 21 people in here. So there has to be some more live people out there. Drop their link in chat if you're one of my mods. Single barrel, still Austin. I've only ever had the blended stuff, so I can't speak on that. GTS Brown, that's super freaking cheap. They're mostly on the way to Michigan. Anyone else live right now? Again, there probably are people. I might just not be following them. Oh, Pours in the Park. Okay. Okay. Well, if no one else is live, I will give you guys your time back. You guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be back next week to go over likely some samples that I was sent from Troy for Baker Drinks. So I'm excited to get into those. He sent me, I think, like 7 or 8 samples. So I doubt I'm gonna get into all of them on the stream, but mostly think a Oregon themed single malt extravaganza or something like that. Who knows? We will figure it out. But again, this has been Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans. Thank you for hanging out. Cheers, y'all.